let's start off with a question. What is autism? In this lesson, you'll learn what it is, the support given to those who are autistic, and learn how they see and experience the world. There will be questions that you can answer during the lesson or on your own. Part 1. What is autism? Now, what is autism? Well, autism is a mental disability that cannot be cured, only managed. Since autism is different in every person, when it was first discovered, scientists split autism into 5 different categories. These were used to help determine the parents and the individual on where they fall on the spectrum. However, through the years, these categories changed. The categories used to be Asperger's syndrome, a term no longer used by medical professionals. It is now seen as level 1 autism, which we will cover soon. This disorder is mild and might have a good side effect. A child could have above average intelligence and strong verbal skills. However, will still have challenges. These include inflexibility in thought and behavior, challenges in switching between activities, excessive functioning problems, flat motor speech, the inability to express feelings in their speech or change their pitch to fit their environment, and difficulty interacting with peers at school or home. Rett syndrome, a rare neurological development disorder. This syndrome mostly affects girls, but boys can be affected as well. It prevents challenges which affect most every aspect of a child's life. Loss of standard movement and coordination challenges with communication and speech, and sometimes breathing difficulties. Childhood disintegrate disorder. This disorder develops language, motor, or social function problems. When a child starts out, they experience a normal development, but the disorder takes effect when they become 3 and up to age 10. This development loss can be extremely difficult to parents who didn't know about the disorder beforehand. A child may lose toileting skills, acquire language and vocabulary, social skills, and adaptive behaviors, or some motor skills. Kanner syndrome. Doctors can describe this syndrome as a classic autistic disorder. Children with this disorder will appear alert and intelligent with underlying characteristics of the disorder. This includes lack of emotional attachment with others, communication and interaction challenges, uncontrolled speech, obsession with handling objects, and a high degree of rote memory and visual sociopathical skills with major difficulties learning in other areas. Pervasive development disorder / non-otherwise specified, or PDD and NOS. A mild type of autism that presents a range of symptoms of the other syndromes. It is most common for social and language development problems. A child may have development delays in language development, walking, or other motor skills. PDD/NOS is also referred to as a subthreshold autism. This term is used to describe the individual that has some symptoms of autism, however, not all of them. Now, autism is categorized in levels rather than syndromes. These levels are as follows. Level 1 is currently known as the lowest level. People on this level will require some support to assist them in social interactions, lack of organization, or planning skills. Level 2 is known as the mild range level. In this level, people will need a bit more support and help with verbal communications, having restricted interest, or exhibiting frequent/repetitive behaviors. Level 3 is the highest level of the spectrum. Those on this level will need substantial support. They experience the same sights associated with level 1 and level 2. Now try to answer this question. Is someone you know a part of the spectrum? Do they experience these behaviors? If you don't know anyone from your life that might be autistic, then think about fictional characters. Do you think that they are autistic? Part 2. Support. During the lesson, you've heard the word support. You might be wondering what that means in this situation. The support given to those with autism come in a variety. These supports are to help the individual grow and support their family. Let's start off with support given to the individual. A parent must figure out what level the child is on. Those who are part of level 1 or 2 might receive social training or behavior modifications throughout their life. However, those of level 3 will need more support. After you've figured out a level, seek out an expert to assist you and your child. From my experience of support, I've been able to use iPads to help me with my work, having access to fidgets and breaks when stressed. Sometimes those with autism are given more, headphones for loud places, or their iPads is used for communication. The other support is for the parents. Their support is to help them with their stress, not because of their child, but because of their lack of knowledge to help them. Some support groups are with others who have a child with autism. This also allows parents to share experiences and advice with others. Another could be for educating parents on new techniques or methods to help their child. And finally, there are groups who help parents with their daily challenges. These support groups are also not entirely for parents. Family members, siblings, and even friends can attend these groups. The next question that I'm going to ask you is, what support do you have? Even if you're not autistic, you might still have some support. Is it parents, teachers, or something else? Step 3. Their world. We all see the world differently, but to those with autism, it can be a whole new world. In big groups, those with autism are seen almost distant from their peers. Mark Rober, a YouTuber, did an excellent explanation of this.
People with autism don't have a filter in their brain like the rest of us. So if you and I were having a conversation here in this park, I can ignore everything around me and just focus on your voice. But if I had autism, I would hear the ice cream man ringing the bell behind me, and the kid crying because he's not getting any ice cream, and the cars going by, and the plane up there, as well as the train in the distance. Not to mention all of the different smells and the fact that the tag on my shirt is kind of rubbing on my back. It's sensory overload.
It can be a sensory overload, even on those on level 1. This is when headphones come in for the individual. It helps add that filter in to allow someone with autism to focus. But this sensory overload can even be affected by their vision. Dr. Susan Morris' son can't interpret visual cues, which has made it difficult for him in daily life. To overcome this, those with autism feel safe at home. It can be a safe environment where they have control of what they see, hear, and do. Because of how different people are with autism, some people have made weird assumptions of them, but I'm here to tell you that some of these are false. For example, being highly intelligent. Cambridge University did a study where they used almost 500,000 people with autistic traits. However, they did on those with suspected autism, mostly symptoms on level 1, instead of symptoms from level 2 or 3. Another assumption is that those with autism can't show empathy. However, everyone who is autistic is able to show empathy, just like we humans. With these assumptions, it makes those with autism feel as though no one truly understands them. It makes it harder for others to help those who are autistic. Part 4. Me. Finally, at the end, I would like to share some of my experience with how autism has affected me. At a young age, my school either didn't believe or didn't care that I had autism. This led to me being behind in class and having tantrums. When I got transferred to a new school, I managed to improve. This was because people actually cared about me and wanted to help me improve. However, as I grew, I had a thought. People expected me to control my autism because I'm so low on the spectrum. I still have this thought and don't know how to get rid of it. No one else will know that I have autism. They'll expect me to know everything there is to know about being an adult. However, there are people in my life who understand me and want to help. They want to see me improve, but not immediately or so sudden. But I still think that the world expects me to be an adult because I barely show signs of autism. And that is both scary and stressful. I don't know if others feel the same way, but it's what I feel. And I can't just stop. Autism is a part of me, and I need to learn how I can deal and manage it. Just like others who are trying so hard to improve, develop, and even prove to everyone that just because they're autistic, we can do great. For the final question, I asked you, how can you make someone feel comfortable if they're autistic? Thank you for listening to me. Please take what you have learned and hopefully help the world treat those with autism with more kindness.